Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is Shanila. Today I want to share some tips on how to teach English creatively and enjoyably. But first, I would like to say thank you very much to Miss Nafissa Tracy M for giving me this opportunity to speak today. It's a great pleasure to share with you some insights on one of the most important aspects of language education, making English classes more creative and enjoyable. In today's globalized world, English has become a vital skill. English is not just a school subject. It is a bridge to global understanding, communication, and opportunity. Yet, how many times do we hear students say, English is boring or I'm not good at English? As educators, it is our responsibility to change that mindset, to create an environment where learning English is exciting, engaging, and relevant to students' lives. When students are engaged emotionally, mentally, and socially, they learn faster, retain better, and apply more confidently. So today, I would like to share with you 10 comprehensive tips that can help us bring more life, color, and excitement into our English classrooms. First tip is to understand your students. Before we talk about strategies or materials, we must first understand our students. Because the foundation of any effective teaching begins with knowing your students well. Take time to get to know their personalities, their interests and hobbies, like what are they like or dislike, their learning styles like visual, auditory or kinesthetic, and what are their strengths and challenges in English. When you teach students in a way that connects to the world, they become more engaged. For example, a student who enjoys drawing may enjoy making storyboards or comics to learn English. A student who loves football may be more interested in reading sport news or match commentary in English. By understanding our students, it can help us design lessons that are relevant, personalized, and effective for them. We can select relevant topics that spark interest. We can adjust methods to match their learning styles, and we can create a supportive environment where students feel seen and respected. Second tip is encourage active participation. One of the most common mistakes in traditional classrooms is having the teacher talk too much and the students listen too little. But language is about communication, not memorization. Passive learning often leads to boredom and forgetfulness. But when students are actively involved, they become creators of their own learning process. So instead of long lectures, give students more opportunities to speak, move, and interact. We must give our students more chances to use the language actively. Try using think, pair, share to let students reflect, discuss, and present ideas. Or role-play scenarios such as job interviews, traveling abroad, or ordering food. You can also use debates and discussions that are great for improving fluency and critical thinking, and interactive storytelling, where students build a story one sentence at a time. These techniques help students develop fluency, confidence, and teamwork skills. The more students speak and interact in class, the faster they learn. Third tip is use games and fun activities. Why games? Never underestimate the power of games. Games are not just for fun. They stimulate the brain, boost motivation, and reduce anxiety. Educational games can turn even grammar lessons into something students look forward to. Games make learning fun, memorable, and effective. In a language classroom, games can be used for vocabulary review, grammar practice, listening comprehension, and pronunciation drills. For example, word chain games. Students take turns saying words based on the last letter of the previous word. This game can be useful to improve students' memory of grammar. Who am I games? Students guess a famous person or object based on yes or no questions. Or you can also use online quizzes using tools like Kahoot, Quizzes, or Bullet. This will make learning not only provide understanding but also fun. Just make sure the game has a clear learning objective and that all students get a chance to participate. Fourth tip is bring in arts and creativity. Learning English doesn't always need to come from a textbook. Let students express themselves through art, music, performance, and digital creativity. Because when students are allowed to create, they feel more connected to the content. Bringing art into English class allows students to express themselves in new ways. The activities to try include ask students to draw comics or storyboards, let them perform short skits or dramas in English, have them create and present posters, brochures, or advertisements, and make class projects like English poetry books and students' magazines. These activities combine language, imagination, and creativity, integrate writing, speaking, reading, and teamwork. This kind of multimodal learning appeals to different intelligences and makes the learning process meaningful and memorable. Fifth tip is use technology effectively. In today's digital era, technology is not a distraction. It is a powerful educational ally. Digital tools, when used wisely, can greatly enhance creativity in the classroom. Technology opens doors to authentic researches, multimedia learning, and global communication. There are many tools you can try, such as YouTube for showing native conversations, pronunciation videos, and motivational speeches, Duolingo or Quizlet for personalized vocabulary practice, or Padlet or Jamboard for collaborative brainstorming and writing, and Canva for designing posters or presentations in English. Just ensure that technology is used creatively and interactively, not just passively. And remember that tech is a tool, not a goal. It should enhance the learning process, not distract from it. Sixth tip is connect lessons to real life. Sometimes students ask, why do we need to learn this? To answer that question, we need to make learning meaningful. Our job is to show them the relevance of English in the real world. Make English relevant by connecting it to students' daily lives and global context. For examples, doing real-life simulations, like shopping, booking a hotel, or attending a meeting. Let students write about their daily routines or personal experiences. Or create interview projects with family members in English. Or you can also use English menus, maps, or travel guides for reading practice. Simulate daily life activities like ordering food or giving directions. Real-life connections show students that English is not just a school subject, but a practical life skill. This helps students see the purpose at learning English beyond the classroom. And this builds functional language skills and prepares students to use English in authentic situations. Seventh tip is give supportive and encouraging feedback. Learning a language takes time, and students need emotional support along the way. Many students are afraid of making mistakes or being laughed at. That fear can block their willingness to speak. That's why we must create a safe and encouraging classroom culture. As a teacher, always celebrate small successes. Praise their effort, not just accuracy. Give them corrective feedback gently and constructively. Use encouraging phrases such as, that's a good idea, excellent pronunciation, or you're improving every day. Focus on how they can improve what they did wrong. Your encouragement can be the reason a shy student becomes confident in speaking English. Because positive reinforcement can build self-esteem and motivation. 8 tips is use a variety of teaching methods. Routines are important, but too much routine leads to boredom. No matter how good the method is, doing the same activities repeatedly will cause boredom. So keep your lesson fresh by mixing different approaches. A varied approach keeps students curious and attentive. Try to mix methods regularly, such as use sounds on Monday, games on Tuesday, group discussion on Wednesday, and rotate between individual tasks, pair work, and group work. Switch between digital and non-digital tools. This method can help you reach students with different learning preferences. The key is balance and flexibility. Ninth tips is encourage collaboration. Language is social. English classes should be about communication, not isolation. It should be about more than just individual achievement. So don't let students sit silently in rows. Instead, turn your classroom into a community of learners. Encourage teamwork and collaboration among students. The ways to do this, you can assign group projects or presentations, create peer teaching activities where students explain to each other, organize English clubs, language cafes, or speaking corners. When students learn from one another, they feel less intimidated and more empowered. And these activities develop not only English skills, but also important soft skills like communication, leadership, and cooperation, also teamwork and social interaction. And the last tip is help students reflect and set goals. Help students set short and long-term goals. Help them become more aware of their own learning. At the end of each lesson or week, reflect together. Reflection builds ownership and accountability. Simple ways to do this: in the end of the class, ask them, what did you learn today? What was challenging? And what do you want to learn next? Use self-assessment checklists. Create learning journals, a class wall of new words, or monthly language goals. Encourage students to set weekly goals, like I want to speak more in class, or I will learn 10 new words this week. Reflection builds self-awareness and responsibility for their own learning journey, and it can help both students and teachers grow together. These small habits can lead to big results over time. So in conclusion, teaching English creatively and enjoyably is not just about entertainment. It's about connecting with students, making learning meaningful and inspiring confidence. Remember, the best English teachers are not just language experts. They are motivators, artists, and facilitators of joyful learning. And remember, a good teacher explains and a great teacher inspires. I hope these tips will help you create a more dynamic and joyful English classroom. Let's keep learning, growing, and inspiring together. That's it for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.